This is GADO News.
The President Tinubu, is huge on local manufacturing, on less dependence about imports. He's a finance person, he's a businessman, and he knows what is happening now, that our industry has been dying. You go to Ilukweju, you go to Ikeja, the biggest buildings there are churches. Old industry companies being turned to churches. We cannot continue that way. We cannot continue that way. Of course, I'm a Christian, and we need churches, but not to be replacing almost all the companies that used to be there. Our industry is dying. So part of what he wants is local content. And since I came to this seat, I've emphasized that. Local manufacturing. Are we going to manufacture 100%? No. Of our needs? No. But we cannot be a country that depends on other countries for 70% of our medicines. My goal is to turn it around to 70% local manufacturing. But like I said, all those things cannot happen without a strong regulatory agency. That's why our ML3, our pre-qualification of Yaba Lab are huge. One of our manufacturers mentioned, just before Christmas, said this ML3 is working for them, that he can register his product in this particular country in Africa. That when they had, it's from Nigeria, ML3. Another manufacturer, is doing the same in another country in Africa. So it's going to foster African free continental trade. But it's not just that. It is because we are strengthening our own system. We are getting more confident in the medicines that we give to our people, or that we approve. Because if it's not of quality, other countries will not register our products. Because all the 55 regulatory agencies in Africa, we speak the same language. They know which regulatory agency they can listen to quickly. Not listen to, but pay attention to in terms of getting products from that country. That is medicines. My goal is to have our products in the global market. What differentiates us from other countries? Made in Nigeria, to be seen in US, in Malaysia, in Brazil, wherever. But if it's not of quality, nobody will buy. So we are toying, or we have been toying, what President Tinubu is now admonishing the country to do, to strengthen the industry. And for the industry, for medicines, we import everything. I've said it over and over that if we import everything, then let's get zero tariff for a period, moratorium, for our companies, bona fide companies, that Nafdac will certify that this is on our register, this is in our register, not just a fly-by-night company. So that within 3-5 years, let's see what they are producing. What is the outcome? It will change the economy. Another item that we are focusing on is medical devices. That includes syringes, in vitro diagnostics and whatnot. The first in vitro diagnostic company in Africa was launched by the minister about a month plus ago in Ilupeju. They use they have a glucose tester, or they made glucose testing kit or whatever, We have the prohibition list for medicines you cannot bring in, because and paracetamol is one of them, because so many companies make paracetamol. But it used to be 8 or about 11 on that list. We now have 34. We call it ceiling, that Nafdac has put a ceiling on, because we have capacity to manufacture those in the country. In fact, we did a small study. What are the top 5 medicines that are imported into the country? We found out that the top 5 medicines that are imported, they are the top 5 medicines that are produced locally. So we said, why? So we started 5 plus 5. That if you have been importing forever and we give you 5 years every time, when you do the renewal, the last renewal from 2021, I believe, that will be your last renewal, because we have capacity to manufacture. And in the 3rd or 4th year of that 5-year renewal period, you have to tell us how you are going to migrate to local manufacturing or partnership with local manufacturers. We have done excellently well, because 1/3 of the companies that are registering now are the ones that used to be importers, that are now partnering or manufacturing on their own. Unfortunately, this Naira issue is putting a small break, and I believe Naira is going to appreciate. It's sad that this present government started this way, but what can they do? I believe it will appreciate. We just have to be patient. So that is opening up the value chain for our own people, decreasing unemployment, increasing GDP. It can only be win-win-win. But these local manufacturers must be supported. That's why, that is the context with which I mentioned moratorium. So this is about local manufacturing, and I'm hoping that something will happen very, very soon to save the pharmaceutical industry. For medical devices, I've mentioned the in vitro diagnostics that was just opened up, and they are expanding, with another site. They've done a market study that if we have 3 or 4 of such in vitro diagnostic companies, we will not need imported ones. And it's not just we will not need imported ones, we can export. Once we certify it, once it is pre-qualified, we can trade. For syringes, we are working hand in hand. It's almost like a project for us in Nafdac, because this is a national issue.
GADO News.